Politics are crazy. How does it affect the sale of your home?
You're listening to the Home Seller's Advantage. I'm Aaron Zapata, your co-host.
And I'm Todd Anderson, your other co-host. We are the Bald Brothers team at Impact Realty Group with Real Broker, and we are here to give you the Home Seller's Advantage.
You can find us online at www.baldbrothers.tv. Again, that's baldbrothers.tv.
Or you can call us at 833-305-BALD. That's 833-305-2253 today.
Welcome back to the Home Seller's Advantage. I am your host, Aaron Zapata.
I am your other host, Todd Anderson.
And we are here talking about what in the world do you do when the world has gone crazy?
Yeah.
We had an unprecedented event.
We had an historical event take place on Saturday, the attempted assassination of a former president.
Yeah.
And this is not a political show, but regardless of where you stand in politics, we have to take issue to the fact that politics affects everything, doesn't it? Including the real estate market.
It does. And so we thought we would just talk to you about what we normally see during a political environment. But this political environment is much different than any I've ever lived through. I've never been, in business when an attempt of an assassination happens. And so that does bring the question, does it affect our sales? Mm-hmm. Our homeowners, you specifically who own a home, are you thinking, how am I going to be impacted by this? If so, that's what we kind of want to answer. Mm-hmm. And by no means do we have all of the answers. We're living through this in real time.
Yeah, just ask us in a year and we'll tell you.
We'll tell you exactly how
it played out.
But what we know to be true is that every time there is an election period, especially a national election, mm-hmm. is that the real estate market generally slows down right before.
Yeah, specifically, I mean, a national election, and really specifically a presidential election.
Correct.
So every election has its toll, but really the 4-year cycle of the presidential election, we do see that. Yeah, you're right. People pull back, and why do they pull back? They pull back because they just don't know. If you don't know what's going to happen, you decide not to make any decisions until you find out who ends up winning the election and then how that's going to play out.
Right. And so while we do expect that to happen this year again, mm-hmm. which is normal, I think what happened on Saturday is going to accelerate mm-hmm. the unknown factor.
Yeah.
Now a lot more people are focused on the politics of our country. Mm-hmm. And so right now, people I think that would maybe thinking about selling in the next couple of weeks or a month, maybe mm-hmm. we'll put that on hold.
Yeah.
So, and here's what happens. When people are putting their properties on hold, inventory goes down. Mm-hmm. And it's, the Warren Buffett mentality is be a contrarian. Mm-hmm. When everybody else is selling their stocks, buy.
Buy, yep.
When everybody else is buying stocks, sell.
Mm-hmm. When there's blood in the streets, that's when you buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he has a quote, that's one of his quotes, but he also said that, when he sells his businesses, he never seems to sell them at their peak. Mm-hmm. And someone questioned him one time and said, well, you sold it before it was at the peak. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, I've never been accused of selling after the peak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
After it goes down.
Yeah. Typically, if you're waiting for the peak, you'll miss it and you'll be on the backside of it. Yeah.
And so if you're thinking about selling right now, and I just want to talk to you as the homeowner who's in the process of making that decision, you need to decide, are you going to move regardless? Mm-hmm. Because the world is not going to get any more stable mm-hmm. in the next 4 months, in the next 5 months, in the next 6 months leading up to Inauguration Day. It's just not going to get more stable. Mm-hmm. And so if you have an event in your life that is impacting your decision, if it's other than politics, you need to move on. Mm-hmm. Because the contrarian thinking is, well, if nobody's selling, then I don't need to sell. But that's not true. If nobody's selling, that means that inventory is at a low.
Prices go higher.
And prices go higher, and buyers are going to, compete mm-hmm. for your home.
Yeah.
We have a listing right now. Mm-hmm. It's a probate listing. The house across the street sold for $635 about 4 months ago. little bit better condition. A little bit. The house we're selling is a fixer.
It's a total fixer. Yeah.
So it needs all new windows, all new doors, all new bathrooms, new kitchen. The only thing it doesn't need brand new is a roof. It doesn't even have air conditioning, by the way.
Yeah, no air conditioning, just heating.
Yep. Needs a new lawn and everything. It needs new everything. We now have multiple offers on this home.
Yeah, we've got 6 offers so far, and it's been on the market for just a couple of days.
Yeah. And it is likely now to go over the list price. We list it right at the price of the home across the street that sold a couple months ago, just knowing that that's kind of where we needed to be. I do believe we're going to sell it for more than list price.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing available.
Yeah.
And we have, I showed it this weekend, and the buyer that I showed it to is completing a 1031 exchange. They have to buy a home. And there are other people that are in that situation right now where they have sold an investment property somewhere where they have to buy.
Yeah, and if they don't do it within the time frame, then they're going to owe capital gains taxes on that.
Yeah, and so they're going to pay premiums. So if you are thinking, I got to figure out what's going to happen in the election, why? If you put the house on the market, it will tell you what's going to happen in the market.
Yeah,
your home's going to sell.
Yeah,
as long as we price it right. As long as we do the paint and carpet, if we want to, like we did today, we went into one of our sellers' upcoming listings house, ripped out all the carpet, went there to inspect the work. Carpet guys did a great job pulling that out.
Yeah.
And so an event like this weekend is tragic that it's happened in our country.
Yeah.
It's happened before, but we live in a politically charged environment.
Yeah. And the question is, well, what if I sell my house and then just the whole world falls apart? My answer to you on that would be, if the whole world has fallen apart, the selling of your home is the least of your worries. You have bigger things to worry about.
Right, that's true.
And the fact of the matter is, you and I are both very engaged with the news cycle and what's going on, and obviously for real estate and politics and the economy and those sorts of things. But the reality is, if we were to shut it off for 30, 60 days, how would our life change? Would there be a major difference based off of world events? In most cases, probably not. And so the question is, as Aaron was just saying, if you were planning on selling your home, unless there's something specifically tied to these things, like you are actually in politics, maybe you're running for office, that's it.
Right.
But unless you're in that particular situation, there's no sense in holding off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think, frankly, if all of us just didn't pay attention to the news for the 30 or 60 days, we'd probably be in a much better mental space.
We might be happier.
Right? We might be happier because we're in an environment where there's constantly negativity.
We are barraged constantly with information. My phone is constantly giving me news feeds, and it's just... we're in a different world than we were 30 years ago, where you could go home and just turn it off. It never stops.
Right.
And so that does affect the mentality of a homeowner,
right?
And the mentality of buyers as well. I mean, it really has an effect on everything in society.
Yeah. And so we're looking at this from a real estate standpoint. Over the years, Todd and I were talking, we were trying to go back over looking at all of our sales, and, we've had the blessing of selling by the end of this month, it'll be over 20 properties this year. Not one of them are moving for political reasons. They're not really afraid of what might happen to them because of their political views, right? People generally don't move because of political views that are that kind of, I'm afraid of my neighbor, I'm afraid of my neighborhood, I'm afraid of being who I am, where I'm at. But we have heard stories of people doing that. And although they may be not moving because of fear, we know that a lot of people have left California because they feel politically out of place.
Yes.
And so it is a big motivator.
Yeah, there is a motivation,
but it's
motivating factor.
But it's not tied direct to, I'm afraid for my life, I got to get out of here. I don't see that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But it is a factor. People are like, I don't like the policies, I don't like the politics, I don't like what's going on, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
So we do see that.
Yeah, we do see a lot of that, actually, for our clients that have moved out of California. But you're correct. Nobody has fled California for fear of political persecution.
Right.
So we're not experiencing those sorts of things.
Right.
Yeah.
You may not like the taxes. You may not like, the policies and the rhetoric. But most people leave because they leave for family reasons. They leave for personal reasons to increase their lifestyle and their quality of life, quote unquote quality of life. But there's a lot of great reasons to stay in California.
Yeah.
And so hear us out. If you are worried about what this is going to do to your home value, if you wait, let's say everybody waits and nobody sells, and then all of a sudden the election goes a different way than you expected to do, and everybody says, forget it, I am out of here.
Selling my house.
All of a sudden the market floods
with properties.
Right. You know what happens when the property the market floods with
becomes a buyer's market and prices start to go down.
Right.
Yeah.
Are we predicting that? Absolutely not. Because if interest rates come down, they're going to go up even higher. The prices are.
Yeah.
So our recommendation to you, again, I'm just going to go back to the beginning, is still do what you need to do.
Yeah.
If you're going to sell your home, call the Bald Brothers.
Yeah. That's the number one thing you need to do.
You need to call us.
You need to call the Bald Brothers team at 833-305-BALD. That's 833-305-2253.
Yeah. If you can call us, just remember that number when you have a question. If you've got somebody, if you need a vendor, if you need somebody to help you prepare your home, if you want to talk about what it would be like to sell next year, perhaps you're retiring, like in a year and a half or 2 years, and you want to know, what do I need to do to the house now? That's when we come in.
Yeah, we've had lots of those conversations.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so we always have 6 to 9 properties in process because we talk to people years in advance.
Yeah.
About the process.
We are not going to be in a position where we ever try to talk you into selling if it's not the right decision for you. We really want to come alongside you and help you in that decision-making process. And if it's not right for you to sell right now, then don't sell.
That's right.
The last thing we want is anybody to sell and then regret having sold.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're still getting top dollar for homes.
Yep.
We're still seeing multiple offers when the home is priced properly. We're still setting records in neighborhoods. We're still seeing homes sell for over the appraised value. And so if you are thinking about selling and you're wondering, is now a good time to sell? The answer is definitively yes. Call the Bald Brothers so we can help you today. Hey, this has been a shorter episode.
Short and sweet.
But we wanted to just bring, and our prayers are with former President Trump and his family, and especially the family of the hero who lost his life.
Yes, and those who are recovering, but specifically that firefighter who lost his life and and his family.
Yeah, so we're keeping all of them in our prayers, and if we can be of service to you in the real estate world, we'd love for you to give us a call. That's 833-305-BALD. That's 833-305-2253. God bless, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening to the Home Sellers Advantage. The Bald Brothers team is a licensed DBA of Real Broker, licensed by the California Department of Real Estate, number 02022-092. Again, we do not give any real estate, legal, or financial advice. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can call us at 833-305-BALD, or you can reach us online at baldbrothers.tv. Equal housing opportunity.